Here's a cute book, Mitchell, called The Giraffe Who Went to School. Let's get into those pages. The Giraffe Who Went to School. Story and pictures by Irma Wild. In a big old-fashioned house, two ladies had a school where they taught 4 little girls. The ladies' names were Miss B and Miss D. The 4 little girls were Mary, Ann, Nancy, and Pam. They learned how to read and write and sew. They learned how to sing and dance. They had French lessons too, and were taught to say, Pardonnez-moi, which means pardon me, and savez-vous plier, which means if you please. I'm sure I didn't pronounce those right, Mitchell. Everyone thought the children had lovely manners. Now down the road from Miss B and Miss D's school was a small zoo, where Alice, the tame giraffe, lived. Every day she would stretch her long neck out as far as it would go, which was pretty far, and look over to where Mary, Ann, Nancy, and Pam were playing games. They were reading books under a big tree in the yard. Oh, if I could only go to the school too, sighed Alice. I would be so good and study so hard. Oh, I wish I could go to school. Let's see. So one day she got up very early, walked out the front gate, down the road, and followed Mary, Ann, Nancy, and Pam right to the schoolhouse. Miss B and Miss D were rather surprised, for they had never had a giraffe to teach before. Please, please, Miss B, said Mary and Ann, please let Alice stay. Please, please, Miss D, said Nancy and Pam, please let Alice stay. So Miss B and Miss D said they would be delighted to have Alice in their school. Now we will all stand up straight and tall, singing America, said Miss B. Alice had held her head up high like the children, but ouch! It bumped the ceiling. Now we will all sit in a circle and read, said Miss D. Alice tried and tried, but she simply couldn't get comfortable in her little chair. As far as for reading, well, because she was, Alice just couldn't learn her ABCs. We're so sorry, said Miss B and Miss D, but Alice will have to go back to her own home at the zoo. Then she won't be here tomorrow for May Day and dance around the maypole with us, cried Mary, Ann, Nancy, and Pam. Oh dear, everyone was sad. Alice was the saddest of all as she went home to the zoo. Big tears fell down her cheeks the next day when she stretched her neck out and saw the children gathered around the maypole. They looked lovely, and she wanted so much to be with them instead of just looking on. Suddenly a little breeze started to blow, and it blew itself into a great big wind. It blew the 4 little girls' hair ribbons and sashes. It blew Miss B's frilly blouse, and it blew Miss D's ruffles on her skirt. Worst of all, it blew the maypole right out of the ground, up into the air, and out of sight over the treetops. So the wind went away with the maypole. What a dreadful thing to happen! Who ever heard of a May Day without a maypole? And what in the world were they to do? Miss B was distressed, and Miss D was distracted. And Mary, Ann, Nancy, and Pam were so disappointed that they cried. But Alice had been watching. She was watching everything right from the zoo. I wonder, thought Alice, could I help? I wonder. Maybe I could. I wonder. Yes, I'll do it. She raced down the road and ran into the garden. Quick, said Alice to Miss D. Get more flowers. Quick, quick, said Alice to Miss B. Get more ribbons. Quick, 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 said Alice to the children. Fasten them on my head. I will be your maypole. So Mary, Ann, Nancy, and Pam danced around Alice and sang their May Day songs. They sang and sang and danced, and it was the best May Day Mary, Ann, Nancy, and Pam ever had. And Alice is the best maypole we ever had, Miss B and Miss D agreed. Even if Alice can't read and count and play games, she could be the most beautiful maypole in the world, said Mary, Ann, Nancy, and Pam. This made Alice very, very happy. Sorry, Mitchell, Aunt Sharon has a cough going on. She thought it was the very best thing anyone had ever said about her, and after this wonderful day, she knew she would always be happy in her home at the zoo. The end.